Wow, I accidentally hit the start before I was even ready. So, wow, here we go. I can't chicken out of this. No, I can't. But my tripod is not set up right. How are you guys as I adjust my tripod? How are you? You doing well? I still have my Christmas tree up because, well, we just got back from Fiji and got stuck in Hong Kong on Sunday. Yeah, I'm trying to keep track of my days. My body's still like playing catch up from traveling and being in the future. But here we are. How are you? Yeah, this is the one Facebook Live video that I really don't want to do. But this is intimacy, and if I'm going to talk the talk, I'm going to have to walk the walk too, right? A big portion of me, of what intimacy is about, that I have experienced intimacy with other people, has been through vulnerability and just being super open with people. And that for me has caused a lot of intimacy in my life, but also a lot of breakthrough and a lot of freedom. And so I am about to embark on a very scary journey for me. And I almost wish I would have done this earlier, because I was like really tender and really soft about it, and now I can feel my walls are getting up and my tonality is a little bit more firmer than how I really feel about all this. But I'm sharing, what I'm about to share with you is very difficult for me. And the reason why I do this, why do I do this publicly, is because I feel like what will make me more powerful as a person, an intimacy doctor, an intimacy healer, an intimacy expert, coach, whatever you need to call me so that you feel comfortable with understanding me, whatever box you need. To me, intimacy is real, and there's no bullshit around it. There's no pretense. There's no like, hey, let's just do it all so perfect. I'm going to perfectly tell you about intimacy. Like, that's horseshit. Like, intimacy is raw and real and vulnerable, and sometimes messy, and sometimes hard, and sometimes beautiful, and sometimes romantic, and sometimes sexy. It's got all sorts of attributes to it. But yeah, I want to go on this journey of sharing it publicly because, one, it's very intimate, it's very real, and two, sometimes watching someone else's courage and someone else's journey really will inspire and liberate other people. I have found that by giving myself permission to be free, in doing that, I actually give other people the permission to be free and to find their own freedom as well. So that's why I'm about to share all of this publicly and just go on this journey with you very publicly. Yeah, this is hard. Wow, I really wasn't expecting all of this, but it all kind of like came to a head today. So today I was like really going to be inspired with my business. Like, I'm really excited. I want to really start branching out and start working with marriages and couples, because I have such a heart for seeing marriages restored and redeemed. I feel like that's going to be a big portion of where I go with intimacy, is not only helping singles and finding love for themselves, but even helping marriages find the love and to really just bring healing. I mean, that's essentially what I do, is I bring healing to people's hearts. You know, most of the time, what keeps us from love is brokenness. You know, broken places in our heart where, you know, we just run away from them. And I'm going to post a quote after this by, I can't even say the gentleman's name, but basically how we will run from our brokenness, we'll run from our pain just because we're afraid of the unknown, to stay in the familiar because we're comfortable with the familiar. And really, that is essentially what I'm doing with my intimacy work, is bringing healing into people's hearts and healing the brokenness. And there's a lot more that goes to it, but that is it in a nutshell. And can't preach it if I'm not doing it, right? So So, as you know, I've shared with you guys with intimacy also, it's a lot about taking risk. And so that's why I titled this, like what is this most scary thing that you're going to do in your life to change your life this year? And for me, last year, I made a big scary risk. I made a change. I hired a business coach that I technically couldn't afford at the same time. I changed my whole business from dating to intimacy and raised my prices, which was really hard for me because I was charging like a therapist and not really charging for the value that I brought. So like putting a demand on my value, all of that was really scary. But for me, what I'm doing starting tomorrow is more scary than all of that. All right, here we go. So I'll just tell the story from the beginning because some of you know, some of you don't know. But in 2010, I get a phone call, and I was living in California, and I get a call from my sister Jackie that my sister Sarah was hit by a drunk driver on her way to work at 7:30 a.m. And it changed my whole life. I remember seeing her, and that was one of the most devastating nightmares of my life, of seeing my sister with tubes all over her and blown up the size of a football and steel rods coming out of her body to keep her hips in place. And that was just the most painful thing I've ever seen. And I ran out of the hospital room, and I couldn't, when they told me I couldn't talk to her, so I couldn't like be a big sister to her and like save the day. So I just looked at my sister Jackie and I said, I'm gonna throw up. And we ran out, and I ran into the bathroom, and I began to just punch the floor. And it's like concrete floor, and I'm just punching it with my bare fist, and my family just comes and runs, and there's 3 other of us kids, and my parents were all just they're hovering over me in a bathroom floor. And I'll never forget that I woke up the next morning. I don't even know how I got to my parents' house, but I woke up on the couch in my parents' living room. My family had stayed at the ER. And I woke up the next morning, and I was like, holy shit, that was the worst fucking nightmare. Excuse my French, but that was the worst fucking nightmare I've ever experienced. Oh my God. And I just like felt so relieved that I woke up, and I was like, whew, that was a horrible dream. And then I woke up, and I remember feeling the texture of my mother's couch, and I touched it, and I looked around and realized I was in my mother's home, and that it was not a dream, and that I was living in a nightmare, and that nightmare was my life. And it continues to be my life, because my sister now lives in a nursing home and doesn't talk and doesn't walk, and you know, we've almost lost her on so many occasions in the past 7 years. And it is an area in my heart that has been the untouchable zone. Like, it's a point in my heart that if you touch it, I will go into rage. I'll go from the intimacy person to I will fucking kill you person, because it's so tender. It's been a broken part of my heart for the past 7 years. And, you know, it's like I looked for like therapy groups to join, and all of them were like for people who died. I'm like, well, what do you do when the person's still living? And so my heart has just been broken over this, and it shows up in every area of my life. It shows up in my relationship. If she goes to the ER, I can't work. I just get in the fetal position and start having panic attacks, and can't work when she goes to the ER. It just really debilitates me. And so just recently over Christmas, I didn't obviously share this publicly, but not Christmas, Thanksgiving, my little brother was coming into town, and my love got sick and had to go to the ER. And I'm driving to the airport picking up my little brother. And I start having a panic attack. And I'm here driving in Los Angeles. There's traffic everywhere. And I'm like, Arica, you cannot have a panic attack. Like, you're on a busy road. You've got the car top down. You're going to pick up your little brother. Like, you cannot have an anxiety attack. You cannot have a panic attack. And I talked to my girlfriend and I said, please, like, pray for me, because I'm on my way to pick up my little brother, and they just took my love. His son just took him to the ER. And I said, I'm losing it. And so she began to just pray over me and speak peace to me. And you guys, this is why we do intimacy, because we're not, when I keep saying we're not made to do this life alone, we're really not. We're really not. And I'm so grateful that I have opened up my heart to the close people in my life, and I've allowed them to see my wounds. I've allowed them to see my victories, my wins. I've allowed them to see where I'm courageous and where I'm fearful, where I'm a star, and where I can still just fuck up at the drop of a hat. And so my dear friend who was praying with me, she said, Arica, I think it's time. And I said, okay. She said, I think it's time that you see a therapist over your sister's situation. And that was like the big elephant in the room that I've been running away from for years. I will tell people about it, but I've talked to coaches here and there. I've skirted around it, but I've never just solidly showed up in a therapist's office and said, I'm here to work on healing my heart with my sister's situation, with her accident. And I'm so grateful for that courageous friend who spoke the truth to me and said, sweetheart, you can't keep living like this. You can't just keep being paralyzed every time something happens. And when I saw that I was going into an anxiety attack over my love, my boyfriend going to the hospital, I was like, I can't live like this. And it just shows up in so many different ways. I go into control, I get very angry, I get shut down, I become very walled off, I get very annoyed with people when I get afraid like this. And I'm like, I can't live like this. I can't run my business this way. I can't enjoy my relationship. I can't just keep collapsing. And I said, you're right. You're absolutely right. So not a big deal, right? So she gives me a therapist, and I speak to the therapist. And I had never, just over the phone, I said, listen, I need to talk to someone. I don't know if I have PTSD. I think I do. I deal with anxiety and panic attacks. My sister was hit by a drunk driver, and it just shows up in every area of my life, because I believe that out of the heart flows all of life. And if there's an area in your heart that's broken, that you will start doing your life out of that brokenness. And that's why it's so imperative for me that when I work with people, that I bring healing to their hearts, because if their hearts are not healed and I just give them semantics, I just give them practical things to do, but I'm not able to heal their heart, then their life will never flourish unless that area is healed and restored. So I know this. So I talked to this therapist, and he was the most compassionate person I've ever heard in my life. And he just began to he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But there was so much empathy and compassion coming from him. I was like, oh my God, I wish I walked in that kind of empathy, because it's so beautiful. And I told him my situation, and he said, I'm happy to work with you. And so I said, okay. And I said, well, I'm about to go, this is in December, and I said, I'm about to go see my sister. I already have my coping mechanisms in place. So I really don't, I don't want to open up this can of worms right before I go and see my sister. So if we could just work together when I get back. And he was like, whatever you think, like, I will just honor that. And I said, thank you so much. So I called him yesterday, and mind you, when I committed in my heart that I was going to get therapy over my sister's situation, all hell broke loose. My heart just went like this. whoa, and it just shut down, and I felt this massive wall come over my heart, because it's like that fear of the unknown of, I'm about to let someone come and touch the most tender place in my heart. And I could, for a week, my heart was just shut down. I remember calling my love at work and saying, I don't know what to do. My heart's so shut down right now. It's so shut down. So it just committing to it, it was like my heart already knew, like, uh-oh, she's going there. Like, this is intense. And so today I spoke with a therapist and we scheduled my appointment. He was like, well, I have an appointment tomorrow at 2:30. And I can't tell you how everything in me just wanted to run. And I just wanted to say, what's your next appointment? But my heart, because I've encouraged my heart to be strong and courageous, my heart like spoke for me, and I was like, yes, I'll take that appointment. And when I did, I just started crying and weeping, because I'm like, for 7 years, I've never given anyone full access to my heart in this area. I've given them pieces, I've given them just enough. But it's such a scary place in my heart that even I'm not able to face it on my own. Even I'm not able to just open up all the corners of it and just go, this is it, this is how I feel. But I know every day I live with a broken heart because of her situation. And so going and getting surgery on this, or healing, or allowing someone to speak to this area of my life and sharing this part of my life with someone so openly is very scary. Very scary. But I know the healing that this will bring to my heart, and my life mission is whatever I get, I give it away. This is why I'm a coach, because any freedom I've gotten, I want to give it to my clients. And so this is very scary for me. Very, very scary to go and work with a therapist and talk about my sister's situation on an ongoing basis, and to keep that area of my heart peeled open. And I'm not doing it alone. I immediately reached out to my love. I reached out to my best friend, to my girlfriend, and just said, I need your support. I can't do this on my own. So when I say intimacy is not to be done on our own, and that it's scary and that there are risks and there's vulnerability, I understand that firsthand. It's not that I'm just preaching this stuff, but I believe what makes me a powerful coach, a powerful healer, is that I live this. This is my lifestyle. And that's why my clients get the breakthroughs that they get, and that's why their hearts get free and healed and whole. So yes, this is a very scary journey for me, but I know that I can't live the rest of my life having panic attacks anytime someone close to me goes to a hospital, and I can't just, anytime my sister goes to the hospital, just completely lose everything and just lay in a fetal position all day. That I can't live my life this way. And I know that I can't do this on my own. I've tried for the past 7 years, and that's not worked. So here I am, gonna see a therapist and let somebody else have access to this area of my heart that needs healing, that's broken. So I encourage you that if there's a place in your life that you've been running from, and it's dictating your life, and it's controlling your life, and it takes away your freedom, takes away your courage, it makes you afraid, that hopefully that you can feel my strength coming through this, and that will encourage you and love on you and let you know that you're not alone, and that we all go through scary things, and we all need people. And sometimes we got to reach out for that professional help from time to time, as I'm doing. But yeah, I don't want to waste my life enslaved to anxiety, to panic attacks, to post-traumatic stress. That I'd rather have healing in my heart. And yes, it's scary because it's the unknown, but the freedom that I know I've gotten in the past by working with coaches and therapists in my life is very tangible, and it's very real, and it liberates and it brings freedom to me. And my life changes, I become more powerful. And I know this is just another chapter in my life where I'm gonna get more victory, I'm gonna get more freedom, I'm gonna get more healing, more hope. And to be able to open this part of my heart so that I can love more, so that my heart isn't so closed and so shut down and so reactive, but instead that I can get some understanding and some grace and some compassion and allow the beautiful healing work to begin. So yeah, this is a scary thing that I'm doing. And I understand if you have some scary things you've got to confront this year. Just know that I'm with you. I support you. You're not alone. Please don't do it alone. And yeah, if you could just keep me in your thoughts and prayers as I go through this journey, because it is scary and it's hard, and I've been running from it for 7 years. Someone just said, use the word challenging. Yes, it's challenging. I agree, it is challenging, but my heart does connect more with the word scary. So challenging kind of takes away that emotion, and I'm trying to allow myself to feel through this as opposed to making it a logical thing, because I want all the healing to my heart. I just don't want it to be a head journey. I want it to be a heart journey. So I hope that this helps someone, and I will continue to share my journey about this with you guys, so maybe it will give someone else hope and someone else courage to be able to go after their same freedom and their healing, and so that they can get victory and freedom along the way. And this is what intimacy looks like. This is the vulnerability of it. This is the risk of it. This is letting people in, letting people support you and love you, and sometimes going outside of your comfort zone and asking for help. So that's what I'm doing. Be loved. Know that you are loved. And yeah, thank you for listening and hearing my story. And as always, please keep my family in your prayers. My parents sit in a nursing home every night with my sister. And my sister, her going through this journey of being a normal person and then living in a nursing home. So keep Sarah, my sister, and my parents and my siblings, keep us in your prayers. It's a very, very difficult thing to walk out, but I definitely want some healing in my heart with this. I don't want to live in anxiety and panic attacks and trauma in this anymore. So I hope this helps you. I love you so much. Take care.